Yo, 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 what's up? What's up? This is your boy, Pastor Smell Good, coming back your way with another fine fragrance review on my YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you're able to be a part of this with me today. Those of you that are already subscribed, I'm sure you got the notification to let you know that I've uploaded another video, and I promise that this video will be worth your time. Today, I want to look at one of my favorite colognes in my collection, which is called Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Give you a few minutes to just see this bottle and how beautiful it is. Just simple, black and gold, but it has the Tom Ford writing written in gold, and even the top is gold with the Tom Ford emblem embossed at the top. Got it? All right, now let's talk about this fragrance because I want to tell you why this is one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. Tom Ford Noir Extreme. How does this fragrance classify? This fragrance classifies as an Oriental Woody, which means it's going to consist of some very sweet Oriental notes, but it's also going to have a very woody and warm base. But it is also classified as a gourmand. What is a gourmand fragrance? A gourmand fragrance is a fragrance that literally smells edible. Gourmand is a French term, which translates to edible or something you would want to eat. Fellas, this may sound crazy to you if you're not too deep into the fragrance community to have on a fragrance that smells edible, but let me tell you something. If you want to get the ladies' attention, get you a bottle of Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Listen, if you're going out on a date, get you a bottle of Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Thank me later. This fragrance is available in a 1.7 ounce, which turns into a 50 milliliter. But listen, you want to get 100 mils of this. You want 3.4 ounces of Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Trust me, tell me about it later. Okay. All right. Now let's get into the notes of this fragrance, okay? Because every fragrance consists of fragrance notes, which are small little scents that make up the grand scent that either you enjoy or the scent that you got to endure, okay? So let's talk about the notes here. In Tom Ford Noir Extreme, you're gonna open up with some spicy saffron, you're gonna have some jasmine, you're gonna have some cardamom, you're gonna have some nutmeg. In the heart of the fragrance, you're gonna get some rose, you're gonna get a kulfi note. I'll talk more about that later. And when you get to the base of the fragrance, you're going to come across some vanilla, you're going to come across some amber, and you're going to come across some sweet, creamy sandalwood. Okay? That's what you have making up this scent called Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Now, let's talk about the opening and how this fragrance works and develops on your skin. On the initial appliance of this fragrance, if you're anything like me, if your nose is anything like mine, the opening is going to be very pungent. It's going to be off-putting to some of you. But please do not go wash it off. Do not get rid of it. Because as the fragrance develops on your skin, it is going to mature into something magical. Okay? But let me tell you why. Because I found out the reason why it opens up so pungent and the reason why it almost makes me sneeze. Because when you initially apply this fragrance, it's going to open up with a very prominent spicy saffron note. It's going to also open up with an almost overwhelming cardamom and nutmeg note. And if you know anything about those particular ingredients, they are spices. And spices have a way of doing that to your nose. But don't give up on the fragrance because you are going to be pleased in about 20 or 30 minutes. I guarantee it. Okay? So, the good thing about the opening, it's only going to last 15 to 20 minutes. But the good news about it is, and believe me, it is some good news, when you transition into the heart of the fragrance's spice is going to be wrapped up by a very beautiful, noticeable rose note. Then from out of that kulfi note is going to come up. And let me tell you something. At that point, you are cooking with some hot grease. What is kulfi? Kulfi is an Indian dessert. It's a Middle Eastern Indian dessert that's similar to ice cream, but it's more dense and more creamy than ice cream. And you would remember when I started the video, I shared with you that this is a gourmand fragrance, right? So it makes perfect sense that they will put an edible note such as coffee into this fragrance. But let me tell you something, the fragrance gets even better. Okay, so now we're into the gourmand section of this particular fragrance, and it is absolutely beautiful. But in about 20 minutes from initial application, I begin to transition into the base. And when I get to the base of this fragrance, it gets even better. Let me tell you why. Because now you have a recognizable resinous amber that comes in and meshes with the coffee. On top of that, you have a recognizable vanilla note that comes in and meshes with the coffee. Then on top of that, you've got some sweet, creamy sandalwood. And let me tell you, brothers, you're going to smell like, oh my God, I promise you. When you put this fragrance on and you let it develop, you are going to be noticeably getting looks and compliments from the north, south, east, and west. I guarantee it. And if you don't like the fragrance, sell me your bottle because I need a backup. Guys, listen at your boy. I would not steer you wrong with Tom Ford Noir Extreme. You guys need to get your hand on a bottle of that. This is a delicious scent. Every time I wear this scent, I just sit back and I start twiddling my thumbs and I start looking around because I know the compliments are coming. They're coming. Matter of fact, today at work, I had this fragrance on. I came across two ladies at the front desk. And you know what one of them said? Reverend Harris, what's the name of that cologne you got on today? I said, this is called Tom Ford Noir Extreme. The other lady said, doesn't it smell so good? I'm telling you guys, trust your boy. I've been spraying fragrance since I was about 7 or 8 years old. Believe me, I will not steer you wrong. This is an affordable fragrance that you can get your hands on, get you a 3.3, 3.4, and it's gonna last you quite some time, okay? So, as I begin to close this video out, let's go ahead and talk about the performance of Tom Ford Noir Extreme. First thing I always like to talk about is projection. Though this fragrance opens up very pungent, do not be deceived by that. This is not a beast mode nuclear fragrance. When you spray on this, trust me, when you get to the mid and the dry down, this fragrance will soften up. Okay, I promise you, the fragrance is going to soften up. This fragrance does not have nuclear or beast mode projection. I normally do about 5 to 6 sprays of it, 1 or 2 sprays to my chest, 2 to my neck, and I hit my jawline as well. And then I'm good to go. Okay, far as longevity of the fragrance, how long does it last? I get about a good 6 to 7 hours here in the state of Louisiana. That's pretty much what I get. We're very humid down here, and this is what I get from this fragrance. Sillage, which is the scent trail. When I walk by, how much of a scent trail does Tom Ford Noir Extreme leave? I get about maybe 1 to 2 feet. Not a whole lot, but I'm cool with that because every fragrance does not have to be beast mode or nuclear. I can live with that. As I told you earlier, the compliment factor. This fragrance will get you complimented. This fragrance will get you guys noticed. I make you a promise. All right. And if you're with somebody that feels a certain way about you, they're going to appreciate this scent. Okay. Last but certainly not least, under performance. What would be the occasion to wear this scent? I would wear Tom Ford Noir Extreme on a date. I would wear Tom Ford Noir Extreme to work. I would wear it definitely in the cooler weather, being that it has such sweet notes. Okay, that's the way I would do that. If you have a formal thing you need to be a part of, Tom Ford Noir Extreme will work for that as well. Okay, so it's pretty much a versatile fragrance. You just got to be mindful of the weather that you wear it in. I would not dare wear this scent in the summer heat. I wouldn't do it. It's too sweet. It'll become too cloying. And by the time you walk by everybody, it probably just won't go good for you. All right. So I wouldn't do that. Now, let me get to my final rating of this fragrance. What do I rate Tom Ford Noir Extreme? If I had to give this fragrance 5 stars, I would give Tom Ford Noir Extreme 4.5 out of 5. Okay? 4.5 out of 5. And I'm going to tell you why I give it 4.5 out of 5 for a designer fragrance. The reason I give it 4.5 out of 5 is because a scent that smells this good, I want it to last longer. If I got about 10 to 12 hours, 3 or 4 hours projection, this fragrance would be a 5 out of 5. But because it lacks in performance, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars out of 5. Okay? Guys, I hope this video was helpful to you today. Thank you so much for checking in and being a part of my fragrance channel. I look to grow in this journey with you and maybe give you some information and bring you some content that will help to guide your fragrance purchases. We all work so very hard for our money, and we want to make sure we're spending it the right way. Talk to you guys later. Thank you for being a part of my video. And remember, always smell like a man.